to this oasis of a backyard. Again, so relaxing, so serene, and not a blade of grass in sight. It's just lots of gravel, easy to maintain gravel, ground covers, the wonderful sound of a fountain nestled in all of this greenery. It just couldn't be easier. It almost has a spa-like meditative vibe to it. One thing I'm very, very jealous of about this garden, maybe by virtue of the fact that the owner is a partner in a landscape company. Oh my gosh, the quality of the soil here is just beyond. It is a thing of beauty. Anything I think could grow in this landscape. Wonderful, wonderful bones. Hollies that have just been pruned high and tall. Some of the same plants here, lots of fern. This owner always has lots of beautiful foxtail fern, which I love. Tall fern that is so happy in this environment. It kind of lends a tropical feel to it. Over this way, there's a wonderful white oleander that also, I think, kind of communicates that same vibe. And in his trademark colors of chartreuse, kind of a dark purple, bluish gray. This is just a common juniper. It smells wonderful. It's in what I call a window box planter. I alluded to that the other day at my own home. It's just a wooden planter that is freestanding, large and rectangular, but it brings up the foliage and it gives that foliage height and perfect drainage it might not have otherwise. Then this bed is actually a raised bed. You can see that it is circumscribed by this liriope. It's stacked stone that matches the stone in the front and on his house. So this is a brilliant solution, you guys. If you have a post or some kind of just verticality in your garden and you want to grow something green on it, there's just these wonderful, brilliant, very large, pretty large planters that he has here, filled with that same telltale fan flower and mandevilla vine that is just trained to grow up this post. He's done that on all 4 posts with similar planters in different sizes. That has some of this wonderful Everilla carex I love so much. This is in the Southern Living Plant Collection. It's a Southern Living plant. And over here, just those same elements. So look at the drama, just the absolute drama of repetition and the cohesive quality that it gives. The symmetry here of these chairs, flanked by these metal tables, planted with similar plants. It's just a formula that you guys can repeat pretty much everywhere. And the things here aren't really precious. There's no, it all looks great, but some of these things, like this, these are just plastic or fiberglass chairs. Easy maintenance, but you'd never know because the surroundings look so beautiful that it elevates the quality of just everything in the entire composition. So great depth and a wall here, a green wall that separates this gravel patio from the parking spaces behind it. That's Elaeagnus in the back. a wonderful kind of finely textured ivy that crawls up the trunk of this cedar tree. And then lots of layering. You guys ask me all the time, why do I have so many pots? Why do I have so many plant stands? It's because it gives lots of layering and dimension to the garden. So if I want a pop of color a little bit higher, I can elevate it either in a pot or by putting it on a plant stand. And then look at this great montage over here of Japanese maples, of fern, of some common just tropical plants, bird's nest fern. It just looks spectacular. And yet, unlike at my house, I can actually sit on this garden bench because everything has been tamed on the sides. So it's just wonderful. Even in this small space, lots of places to sit down, a place to dine, various conversations can be going on. It's just, if we could, Stuart, just kind of do a circular, just kind of pan around this space, you can just see how cozy it is. If Kitty approves, he can put candles in this rustic chandelier hanging from the top of the arbor, which also is the same finish as this brilliant fire pit. Now I'm not sure, but this looks like it might be a piece of oil field equipment that's been turned into a big fire pit. There's a hole in the bottom, but it's just brilliant. So the textures are also repeated. And then he has lots of citronella things in the corners, citronella torchères, to kind of make this space very comfortable and fight all of those mosquitoes. And then on the other side of the door, you see that there's that same kind of window box planter that mirrors the one on the opposite side. And look at the cute little kitty house. Stuart, show them the cute little kitty house that matches. Yes, Kitty, we're talking about your house. And then I guess the final exclamation point on all of this beauty are just the interesting organic appointments he has just everywhere. Huge pots and wooden bowls filled with succulents and mulched in different kinds of gravel. Gorgeous stones everywhere as just outdoor, very earthy bibelots. Pieces of driftwood, all things that look like they have perhaps been collected over time. So there's that kind of tropical, historical, anthropological quality to all of this that I absolutely adore. And I just couldn't love it anymore. And again, not a blade of grass in sight. Lots of wonderful gravel, lots of wonderful appointments, lots of drama, but it's just not too busy. Even with all of these layers of interest, it's not too busy. And also some great, I should point out also the great garden art that's back here. So I'm gonna have to bake Marquette some cookies or a pie to thank him for allowing us to kind of stroll and enjoy his backyard, his front yard, his darling bungalow, and his landscape in general. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I enjoy coming over to my friend Marquette's.